Hi everybody, welcome to Tim's Tech Corner here on YouTube. It's been a while since I've done a TTC video, as I've been mostly focused on the G4G side of things for quite some time, but I felt it is time to knock the dust off a TTC video and talk about a topic that is really big right now overseas across the pond in England, and hopefully we don't see it in the States. And I'm hoping that it doesn't go any further than the current legal rigmarole that this poor guy is involved with. And we're going to talk about Kodi today. So, if you're not familiar with Kodi, Kodi is the current name of the original piece of software called XBMC, Xbox Media Console. XBMC has existed since the days of jailbreaking the original Xbox console prior to the 360 and installing this media console on it. It allowed you to treat it like a giant entertainment box. Flash forward, or fast forward till now, and it is called Kodi. This is the version 17 called Krypton. And what's going on now is that Kodi is available for Windows devices, iOS, Ubuntu and Linux, different chips for the Android architecture like ARM, x86, ARM v7, etc., Raspberry Pi, and things like BSD. So Kodi is available everywhere because it is open source. And what we mean by that is it's free to get, similar to, say, OpenOffice or 7-Zip. Now, the way that it runs with Kodi is that Kodi is just basically a giant media manager. Kodi is designed to be put on a particular system and then manage everything entertainment-wise that you have available in your residence. One of the best ways of doing this is, of course, tying it to a computer or an external hard drive or NAS device on the network where maybe you store your MP3s, your videos, your music, etc. Well, aside from just being a media manager at its skeletal frame, you have add-ons that you can add to Kodi, which that's how I'm going to refer to it in the rest of this video, is not XBMC, but Kodi. You can add things like YouTube and Twitch and Pandora and Shoutcast. There are literally just hundreds of add-ons that can be added to a Kodi setup. These add-ons do things like screensavers, and there are even program add-ons that do stuff. You can play certain emulated games, certain ROMs. You can do skins. You can have it log into Facebook. You can have it display weather, pictures from 500px. I mean, it is near infinite in possibility. You can even have smartphones and tablets act as a Kodi remote. So if you are watching Kodi on, say, a computer hooked up to a TV, you can use your smartphone to navigate Kodi. It takes a little bit of tweaking, but it's doable. So what is the hot topic that is coming out of England now? What exactly is going on with Kodi? Well, there are, shall we say, premium add-ons, or in certain circles, you might call them illegal, but they're not really, add-ons that allow you to get access to premium content that you should rightfully be paying for in order to view. So let's discuss a comparison over here. On this screen alone, we have YouTube and Twitch. These are add-ons that would cause no controversy. That's an add-on that gives you access to YouTube, so you can watch YouTube videos through your Kodi setup. Same thing for Twitch. Twitch, of course, gives you access to currently live gamer streams and esports competitions like over in League and Dota and Heroes of the Storm. people running betas. I mean, it's just computer-based live streams, and now even Twitch has branched down into in real life stuff like Magic the Gathering and talk shows and whatnot. So YouTube and Twitch, there will never be a legality issue over here. It is no different than going to YouTube on your browser or Twitch on your browser. But then you get into things like Ice Films and One Channel and Sports Devil and Exodus and Showbox and Popcorn Flicks, stuff like that. This is where the waters kind of get a little murky. And the reason being is things like Ice Films and Sports Devil give you access to content that would be considered in a pay sphere. You should be paying for watching that video or that sporting event or that live event on Sports Devil. For example, Sports Devil can give you access to UFC pay-per-views, WWE pay-per-views, games out of your market. So, you want to watch a Yankee game, but they're not on TV anywhere, it'll be on Sports Devil. You want to watch WrestleMania, it'll be on Sports Devil. Now, where this person is currently facing legal issues in England is the fact that he sold fully loaded Kodi boxes. So, in case you're unaware, Kodi is a software that can be loaded on a PC. It is free. It is completely legit. There's nothing wrong with Kodi in and of itself. It is no different than installing Evernote on your computer or something like that, or Evernote on a tablet or a phone. Where things get sketchy are these add-ons, and what's happening is people will sell Kodi boxes with the premium or the hazy, murky add-ons installed and enabled. So if you look on eBay or you shop around the web, Kodi boxes are basically Android architecture boxes with Kodi loaded on it, and then this is where things get a little dicey. It's whether or not these hazy add-ons like Exodus and Ice Films and Sports Devil come loaded on the box, so you literally plug it into your output, plug it into power, and you get access to things that you technically shouldn't get access to. Now, this guy sold apparently over 1,000 of these boxes with the add-ons on it. So, one of the best devices you can put Kodi on now for the Android sphere at least is an NVIDIA Shield TV. You get an NVIDIA Shield TV, you root it, you install Kodi, and you have one of the strongest devices on the market now for it. But you rarely see people selling Shield TVs as Kodi boxes. You see it a lot with the Amazon Fire Sticks, the Fire Boxes, and all of these other many dozens of hundreds of manufacturers that produce these Android TV boxes, and then people get a hold of them and load Kodi on them. Where Kodi or XBMC used to be super popular was back in the old Apple TV days, especially with Apple TV 1 and 2. There was a way of jailbreaking those, and then once it was jailbroken, you would slap XBMC on there, and voila, that's how I first got into it. But you can also do it with Android tablets, especially ones that have HDMI out. You can put it on a tablet, HDMI into your TV, voila. So, many sellers will take these boxes and, buy them bulk from a manufacturer or wherever and install Kodi on them and then jack up the add-ons and then resell it. This isn't a problem for Kodi because you're not you're not profiting off of Kodi itself. You are profiting off of the box. And no matter what price you sell the box for, you can always say, well, I'm not selling Kodi, which is free. I'm selling a box that happens to be configured with Kodi on it. So these things are about the size of a puck. They're usually square. Android TV, the NVIDIA Shield TV is very elegant, but a lot of them are just flat squares and rectangles and everything like that. So this guy's in trouble because he sold these boxes with the add-ons that allow him or allow the user to get access to movies that, as we'll see here, are actually out in the movie theater, like Split, which is currently out. Mona, which was out a little bit ago. Arrival, a little bit ago. La La Land is active right now. Girl on the Train's a little older. But even Suicide Squad, which is now out on DVD. If I wanted to watch Suicide Squad, technically I should either be paying my cable company to watch it through them as a purchased movie from my remote, or by buying a DVD or renting it on Redbox. This is monetized right now. Same thing for all of these. Patriots Day is active in the theaters right now. Doctor Strange is just fading. So all of this obviously should be costing me money for me to watch it. That's fine. That puts it on me, the consumer, that I am doing the illegal thing. The moment I click Doctor Strange, I'm actually breaking the law. I'm pirating it. Even though I'm not downloading it and saving it, the very act of watching it is like watching stuff for channels you didn't purchase on old hacked cable boxes. Like back in the late 90s, I had a hacked cable box that allowed me access to channels that I wasn't paying for, and pay-per-view channels and everything like that. So this is the modern version of that. I don't feel that it is right that this person is going through England's legal system over this. He is not selling a box with these movies on it, or some people will sell SD cards full of emulators and ROMs that you hook up to like a Fire TV box, one that is already, rooted, so you slap in the SD card and you have emulators on there like Super Genius and Nest Boy and all those, and then the ROMs are there. That actual seller could get in a lot of trouble if ever caught, because he's selling copies of games. But this guy, who's currently embroiled in a legal system over in England, I think has a major case to just completely get this thrown out. And I'm going to give an example of a defense that I think this guy should bring up. And hopefully this gets the kibosh put on it right now for this case in England, sets a precedence. This shit stops happening in Europe and never reaches American shores, and it never comes up over here. So, if I was involved in his defense, if I was him, if I was his lawyer, I would bring up this as a prime scenario of where selling a box with this stuff on it can actually be used for legal, completely legal and above the table items. Let's put it here in the States. Let's say that I have a cable-based TV provider and internet. So we'll say Time Warner, which is now Spectrum. So, it's a Sunday, WrestleMania is on. I go to my cable box, I pull up the pay-per-view menu, I pay my money for WrestleMania the old-fashioned way, not the WWE Network way of the subscription, but a good old-fashioned pay-per-view, $50, whatever, to watch WrestleMania on TV. I have my one cable box that I can get the pay-per-view content on. However, say I have a family member or somebody in the house that really wants to watch that TV that day. Well, I have this pay-per-view thing. Well, sorry, I need to do this, blah, blah, blah. Big fight ensues. Now what are you going to do? Well, if you had another cable box in your place, you could just go and watch that pay-per-view channel over there. But maybe you don't. Maybe the other TVs in your house are digital enabled and they get channels, but they don't really get certain things of your package or the Spectrum Time Warner specific stuff like the pay-per-views, and you don't have a way of getting a menu. You could still watch your cable because it's a digital enabled TV with a digital tuner. You just don't have access to the cable company's box. So let's say then at that point you pull up your handy dandy Kodi and you go to Sports Devil and you go to Live Sports and you pick one of these providers and you find the WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, and you start watching it. Well, right at this point, conceivably, you could get flagged. You are watching premium content through a Kodi box. But in this scenario, I actually paid for it. And under a normal circumstance, would be watching it through the device that I paid it for. But I got bumped from that TV, that cable box, so I'm now watching it over here. That is a perfect scenario in which legally I'm watching a pay-per-view event over here and have paid for the right to view it. Same scenario with UFC. UFC 300 is on, and you pay for it through your cable provider or your TV provider, whether it be cable or satellite or whatnot, and you watch it over here instead. That negates the illegality of the add-on and the stream at that point because you have paid for it. You're just not watching it the standard way. That's something that I would bring up if I were him, if I were his defense. And besides, it's you could also claim it's the gun theory. You are a gun shop. You are a shop that sells guns, ammo, rifles, hunting equipment, whatever. You do all the proper background checks. You have the waiting period. You sell somebody a gun. They go out and they take that gun and they commit a crime with it. They hold up a jewelry store. They take jewelry. They smash equipment. They shoot somebody in the leg. They get away. Are you going to sue and bring to court that gun shop owner who was well within his legal rights to sell that person a gun and ammo and a clip, etc.? That is where I think this guy should not be on trial in England. Yes, he sold a Kodi box. Not illegal. Yes, he sold a Kodi box with these sketchy add-ons like Ice Film, Sports Devil. I think really what it is in England is that Sports Devil or the Sports Stream ones are the big ones for them. When I watch stuff on Sports Devil, more often than not the UFC stuff, it usually is a British stream that is doing it. I mean, it's American announcers and everything like that, but they will sometimes cut to commercials that are all like British commercials and betting. I mean, you don't see betting commercials in the States because you don't bet other than in specific cities. You don't gamble. So that is, I think, the big one. I don't think they're really that concerned about movies and music over there. I think they're concerned about premium sports streaming. Over in the States, the equivalent of it would be like the WrestleManias, the UFC, getting access to sport games that would be out of your market or not on TV that is accessible to you unless you're getting like NFL season pass, NBA season pass, MLB TV or something. I really think this guy has a lot of a lot of backing to be found innocent and hopefully stop this before it even comes to the States. Again, I think aside from the example that I gave of paying for it legally but then watching it through Kodi, to me, he's not a consumer of it. He's not somebody who was caught torrenting movies and, like people who were caught with hundreds of MP3s back in the Napster era and everything like that. He is simply a seller of a device. Once he sells it and it gets in a consumer's hand, I don't believe he is responsible for it anymore. And so what? He sells a box with Sports Devil on it. And then somebody gets it in their hands and watches Manchester United, whatever, for free. It's that consumer that they should go after, not the seller of the item. I mean, again, the gun theory to me is what holds up. It would be like suing Best Buy because they sold a computer to a minor, a 17-year-old, who took that computer home and watched pornography. What? I mean, or sold a computer to a 25-year-old who took the computer home, looked up the anarchist cookbook, found out how to make a bomb, and made a bomb. Like, that's not on Best Buy for selling him a computer that gave him access to the internet, that gave him access to a posting of the anarchist cookbook, and then he blew up his old high school because he hated his high school time because he was picked on. I mean, it's a ridiculous thing that this person should be getting taken to court for selling fully loaded Kodi boxes. And I really, really hope this does not come to the States and does not start putting too big of a spotlight on the Kodi setup and causing problems for Kodi users and everything. You want to go after people, fine. Go after the people who use the box illegally and get paid content for free. Just like the old MP3 days of Napster and Kazaa. Just like when people were ridiculously torrenting movies and TV shows like The Hurt Locker. That was a famous one. Hurt Locker was like heavily torrented when it first came out. And the people behind Hurt Locker like really went after people who were downloading it and trying to track it and everything. So that, to me, is who you go after. You go after you work with the internet providers, and you track the traffic and everything like that, just the way you would for torrenting and MP3s. But don't go after somebody who sells a box with configured software. It's not on the seller. You could sell it to some little old lady who just wants to do whatever she wants to do with that Kodi box, but doesn't actually ever go into Ice Films or NaviX or Sports Devil or Exodus. Yes, it's there, but that in and of itself isn't illegal. The illegal portion only happens when you get into the add-on and start viewing something that you should rightfully be paying for. That is when the offense occurs. Not when the box leaves this guy's hand. And not even when it gets in the consumer's hand if they just simply never use that add-on and never go into it. So that's my little spiel here on Tim's Tech Corner for the potential hot water that Kodi boxes are getting into. And right now I'm only hearing of it in England. It's showing up on my Google feed, my Google cards, like day after day. It's a big thing over there right now, but hopefully it never reaches the States. Hopefully this guy wins his case and sets a precedence, and we never hear about sellers of Kodi boxes getting brought into court for this shit. So, that's all for me, folks. Kodi likes to lock up a little bit when I exit out of it, so I'm just going to go ahead and end the video here, with this being what you see on the screen. Peace out, everybody, and have a good one.